G'day and welcome to another episode of Business Spotlight. Stephen O'Sullivan here and sitting down with Abdel Badoura, who's going to share his story about his startup. So welcome to the show.
Thanks, Stephen. Great to be here.
Very good to have you. So tell us a bit about the business. What is it? What is it all about?
Yeah, of course. So I'll start off with the name. The business is called Pinkish Pods. The business plays in the industry of fast-moving consumer goods. And what we've been able to do, even at an early stage, is really disrupt a boring and stagnant lack of innovation industry by taking, I guess, one of probably the worst or most hated household chores, laundry, and making it a little bit fun, sexy, and extremely relevant. So what we did is we looked at the laundry category, looked at the needs in the market, and looked at where the market was actually heading in the future. And that's all around the environment. So we looked at what are the, I guess, issues currently with the laundry detergent market in terms of environmental safety or environmental advocacy. One, there's a lot of plastic. They're all big jugs or plastic, packages. Second, the chemicals used are not purpose-built to protect the aquatic life and, I guess, the environment once they're released into the kind of waterways.
Right. Yep.
So we then started looking at manufacturers that can give us a formula that address this need and taking out all the harmful chemicals. But we needed to keep in mind that I guess the state need for the user in this journey is they want their clothes to be clean, they want it to smell nice, and they want it to get out stains. So it had to be efficacious. We could not have a plant-based formula that doesn't necessarily work. Now, I'm not saying they all don't work, but my experience from buying just your kind of plant-based formulas in the store, they don't get out all the stains. They don't necessarily get out, say, barbecue smell if you want to go to Korean barbecue at night or over the weekend or whatnot. So we had to use chemicals, but the chemicals that we are using are ones that we have validated through multiple organizations are not harmful for the environment. So I think that's the first key step that we wanted to get right. With the efficacy, by the way, we have tested it here locally and it performs on par with leading brands. So once we ticked the kind of formula perspective, we then thought, what's the next step? It's the plastic. Can we get rid of the plastic? And we kind of contemplated what are the different formats that are available. So there's powders, there's liquids, and there's capsules. We did the research on each different format and what is, I guess, the best format for the environment. And what we came down to is it's capsules. They are kind of the film around it is called polyvinyl alcohol or PVOH. It's biodegradable. It dissolves in water, and anything that's left in waterways, the Australian water waste treatment plants clear it all out. So we're like, okay, it's we can satisfy, or we know that we have a format that works and is good for the environment. Then we're like, what does the packaging look like? And do we use plastic? Are there risks with using other elements than plastic? And truthfully, when we first were, going to market with this idea, all the manufacturers we spoke to were trying to pivot us back into either plastic or a format called PLA. So it's similar to what, dishwashing tablets come in now at the supermarket, that kind of soft plastic material, which this might come to a surprise to a lot of people. It's actually harder to recycle that plastic than it is the big plastic jugs, because the recycling plants in Australia don't have the capacity to recycle those elements. And that's kind of why Red Cycle failed. But that's a story for maybe another day or later in this conversation. But, to kind of wrap it up, we found the format, which is the capsule. We found the formula. Now we needed the packaging, and we pushed through with cardboard packaging because we believed we don't need plastic. Cardboard is, made from recycled paper and 100% recyclable. So that ticks all the boxes, knowing that there is risk given that these are in capsule formats. There's not a lot of protection compared to plastic with shipping, even if it were to go into a store. But that risk was, well worth, it was a tolerable risk, if you will, given that the purpose of the business was to have a positive impact on the environment. So we said, if we're going to make this work, we have to make it work the whole way. We can't really address certain elements. The final part, and I think this is the most, I guess, important part, and the part that I'm most proud of in this organization, is we're climate positive, right? We're not carbon neutral. We're not net zero. We're offsetting more carbon than we emit as an entire organization. We're small, yes, but this commitment will continue, even if we're the size of a Unilever or a Reckitt's one day. I think that's the important piece to keep in mind, because we've done the hard work to get us to this level here. Second to that, we offset our shoppers' emission on a washing machine. So we sell laundry detergent capsules. The washing machine obviously uses power or energy, and it emits carbon. We work with Greenfleet in Australia to validate that a washing machine, on average, emits, I believe, from memory, 1.27 kilograms of carbon per wash. So what we do is, per box we sell, we offset 35 washing cycles, because one capsule equals one washing cycle.
Nice. Some
people might, throw 2 in there or whatnot, but we kind of have to rely on the law of averages here, and kind of offset as much as we can with the information that we have. So in a very kind of long-winded way, or kind of moving around in the story, Pinkish Pods is a climate positive, waste-free consumer goods company with a focus on laundry detergent capsules to start with. And I hope that we'll be able to expand into new and exciting categories in the near future.
Fantastic. That's a very very in-depth overview, and there was lots of compelling highlights there, like the carbon guarantee that you're taking it from the consumer and putting it on you. That's really powerful. What have been some of the where are you up to in the startup life cycle or journey?
Yeah, look, so we're bootstrapped, so we don't have any kind of funding or investors, no loans in the business either. So everything has been funded through my own savings, truthfully. And it's been a slow journey as a result of this, right? If we had, I think, a lot of capital, it could have been, a much faster journey. But we launched April last year. And since then, we've been able to, kind of open up our Shopify store, and sell online, drive really compelling ads through digital media channels. And, soon we'll be, I guess, launching a very exciting adventure for Pinkish Pods. And, we're going to go international very, very soon, which is exciting. But yeah, we're, slow and steady is the way to go, I guess, right now, until we get the fundamentals right, before we can really push it into kind of scale mode.
And apart from some of those product challenges that you just described, again, getting it to work as well as the high chemical ones, what have been some of the business challenges you've had along the way?
Yeah, it's really, I guess, an understanding of how the business or the business world works. So, I've been in consumer goods for a very, very long time, but I've never obviously owned my own business. So I haven't had to get, say, a business loan before, or, kind of set up a company structure and have shareholder agreements and have a charter and like that kind of stuff that, I guess an accountant might help you with, or a lawyer. But being bootstrapped, we didn't have access to those people, but also we didn't have the awareness to kind of set those things up from day one, which, kind of gave us a little bit of a hindrance towards wanting to go international, to have the company structure right. The second, I guess, challenge for the business, truthfully, has been cash flow. Cash flow has been really tight. And in this industry, it's needed, because you're competing against a lot of big players, but also a lot of small startups in the same space trying to do similar things with different variations. So, there's companies out there that, will clean up the ocean from plastics. It is an environmental need or environmental, kind of pillar, but it's a little bit done in a different way to what we do. So you're competing against a lot of noise, which takes a lot of capital and cash flow to cut through. But more importantly, you're asking people to change their shopping behavior or their fundamental behavior. And that's, that's a big challenge. How do you get people to really stop buying laundry detergent from, Woolworths or Kohl's and buy it online and have it delivered at home, that they don't have to carry it? It's heavy, it's bulky. Nobody wants to carry that at home. Yet people just kind of forget, it's just habit. You're in the store, I need laundry detergent. You pick it up and put it down. Those are probably, some of the main challenges we've had so far.
Yeah. The cash one. It's interesting. So what have you learned about yourself throughout all of this?
I hate to admit this, but I'm not as resilient as I thought I was. There's a lot of setbacks, I guess, in owning a business. You would know, and I thought I could handle them. And I'm sure, look, I've handled them, but I thought I would handle them much better. The no's, kind of cut real deep, if I could, use that term or phrase, that in my mind, I'm like, why would you not? Like, this is such a great offer to the consumer. This is such a great thing for the environment. How can you say no? So yeah, I think resilience got challenged, and I was shocked at, I guess, how little maybe resilience I had in the face of an answer no, when I really, really cared about something and it was kind of mine. It's not for a different company or whatever it might be. I didn't learn this, but I appreciate, or what's the word? I'm trying to say patience. And I always knew that I had, very little patience, or I always wanted to do things like right now, like go, 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 go. What's next? What's next? Let's grow. Let's grow. And I guess the learning I had after all those no's and kind of the, sadness or the disappointment was to just calm myself down a little bit and be like, look, you just got to be patient. Things will come. Like, right now we're at this stage. Yes, we want to be as big as Unilever or Reckitt's one day, and you believe in the product, but we need to go through this slow journey to get to this place. So you just need to kind of calm down and just breathe and let things fall in place and just follow the strategy. What else? There's been so many learnings, to be honest with you. Those were kind of the key ones that popped to mind. Time management is definitely another one that I always need to develop. I think time management, and I think it's something that probably everybody needs to develop. But I'm working full time to fund and support the business. So time management is key, and it's kind of like this. I don't know if you experienced this or your journey was similar, but it's like a spiral when you're kind of like you want to do things, and you want things to progress really quickly, and then you get the no's, and then that then leads into a little bit of kind of downtime where you're like, okay, so what's next? I'm not really sure how to progress this. Then the anxiety builds of like, hey, you're not doing something, and it's this never-ending cycle, So I think it's really mental health, I would say, is probably super, super important if you're running a business, and being aware of your mental health and knowing when to just pause and knowing when to kind of full steam ahead, I think is really critical. And that's been my biggest learning. I'm not ashamed or kind of scared to say this. I have a therapist. I speak to a therapist very consistently every fortnight, and it just helps to sometimes talk to somebody that has a different perspective. Sometimes I think things are normal, and he would be like, actually, that's not normal at all. Like that, the expectation of X is ludicrous, so you should not feel like it was normal, and try to kind of put make yourself go down. So yeah, like that's been kind of the learnings about myself, and the kind of support mechanisms I've tried to reach out to.
Yeah, there's nothing normal about being an entrepreneur. Nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
We're deluded enough to think that we can create our own world.
Yep. Yeah. I agree.
Which comes with all the ups and downs. No, and I look, I appreciate your honesty on that. Is there anything you've anything that you've found is working, A, in managing time priorities, and B, managing, energy self?
It's just giving yourself, or what works for me is, giving myself a timeline to just say, hey, you're going to spend 2 hours on this. You need to focus 100% for 2 hours, and that's it. Because what I was doing is like, I was like, oh, let me do a little bit, and then I'll like get distracted, go do something else, and then it's still in the back of my mind, be like, I still have to finish that, spreadsheet or Instagram ad, whatever it might be. So it's, yeah, I guess the approach I took to it, or the thing that works for me, is just setting a time limit to when you want to do something and just sticking to it. And if you don't finish, it's okay, just move on to whatever else you got to do, because
Nice.
that downtime is really important. Like, you need to kind of, I don't know, just watch some TV or go for a walk, or
Yeah.
I don't know, like stare at the wall, whatever it might be that allows you to
gym.
switch off.
Go,
Sorry.
go to the gym, as we were
Go to
discussing.
the gym as well. Yeah, of course. So it's yeah, allowing yourself to take breaks, but really focusing when you kind of say, hey, this is my time to do the work on Pinkish.
Yeah, nice. And so what do you, let's go forward a year. Where's the business? What are you excited about?
In a year, what I hope, or where we should be is, we'll definitely have would have expanded internationally. When is this going to be aired, by the way?
2 to 3 weeks usually. Yeah.
Okay. I'll save the spoiler alert, because I'll do a spoiler alert of where we're launching it on Instagram in a couple of weeks' time. But yeah, we'll definitely have launched internationally by then. And what I'm hoping is we launch into new categories. So, when I first launched the video, the company, I made a kind of intro video. It's on our About Us page, and I did say we are starting off with the laundry industry, but we want to disrupt as many kind of categories, industries as possible, with our purpose that we can actually impact. So I think an easy transition would be dishwashing tablets or capsules. Another one is a multi-purpose capsule that you would fill up with water, and you can use a trigger spray bottle at home and clean surfaces. Those are the natural transitions, and the kind of transitions that we've worked on so far. And we're not there yet, but we believe we will be there, I hope, in a year's time.
Nice. And lastly, if anyone wants to bring some fun and innovation to their what could be boring experience of washing their clothes, where can they find your stuff?
Online, pinkishpods.com. You can buy them with one click. We've made it as easy as possible on Shopify, and yeah, we're on Instagram. We're on all the socials. For anybody who is either interested or wants to know more, just reach out, and more than happy to jump on either calls or communicate via message apps.
Nice. Thank you for sharing your story. It's really cool, and awesome that you've directed your innovation at a non-innovative industry. It's ripe for it. So wish you all the best in the future, and thank you for today.
Thank you, Stephen.